OneTrust con Arshdeep Sood. Arshdeep Sood es consultora de OneTrust Consent and Preference Management y en su función ayuda a las empresas a implementar las prácticas que impulsan la experiencia de usuario atractivas y que generan confianza corporativa a la vez que se cumple el GDPR. Damos paso a la intervención de Arshdeep y muchas gracias a OneTrust.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our session on first-party data, solving your privacy and personalization paradox. I want to quickly take some time to introduce myself. My name is Arshdeep Sood, and I am a solutions engineer here at OneTrust. I really specialize in different consumer-facing product suites with the OneTrust platform. I have a background implementing the platform, working on customer use cases across different regulations, started back during a good ride with GDPR, through CCPA changes in the US, and have been working through all these privacy regulations ever since. So I'm really excited to be here and really walk you through a few different aspects that I believe are going to be of great importance over 2022 and beyond. So as part of this conversation, I want to focus on the agenda for today. I'll first give you a quick review of what we are seeing within the market. I'll then focus on different solutions that you could be working on as part of the cookieless world that has been of great conversation over the past few months, or rather over a year now. And then towards the end, I'll give you a quick insight into who's OneTrust and some next steps that you could be working on. So let's dive right in. Starting out with the market overview, definitely the biggest conversation topic is deprecation of third-party cookies. So Google went ahead and announced its plans to phase out support for third-party cookies in their Chrome browser by 2023, and we're already at 2022. So it really means that all major browsers, which includes Google, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, will all have blocked their third-party cookie use. And this is a huge shift for brands, as marketers really rely on these third-party cookies for their targeted advertising, for metrics, and really for attribution as well. So this will impact everything from digital advertising to personalization, and quite frankly, on revenue as well. So regardless on when this is bound to happen, we need to act proactively and start thinking about what we can do now to mitigate any risk. So at OneTrust, we do believe that marketing and personalization without third-party cookies gives us an incredible opportunity to build a more direct relationship with our end users or consumers or data subjects. And so one of the many ways you would be able to achieve such great focus and such great understanding of your end users would be by focusing more on how you could leverage any zero or first-party data that pre-exists, or how you could change your stance and move towards leveraging and building out on those data points. So I'll just give you a quick overview on what are the main differences between these different types of different types of data points. So when we're defining different data types, the first party data is essentially the data that is given directly by your audience or end users, as opposed to something that you would have acquired by something that has been sent to you by a third party. So zero party data is essentially, again, data that this customer or end user has intentionally shared with you. This could include things like any purchase intentions that they have had, any personal context, any sort of communication preferences that they have set up, and anything else that the individual really wants the brand to know and recognize about themselves. So the best way to really collect any of these zero-party data points is to ask for information in exchange for something that will be of value for the customer. A great example of this would be that somebody's looking to purchase an item. So you're giving them the value of, I will deliver to this product to you, but would you be okay giving me your email address so we can keep you posted? Or would you be okay sharing your address for delivery? So those are some of the key use cases there. And this could be done through different kinds of surveys. You can provide them with customized product recommendations, or even like providing some free ebook resources that they could leverage. Now, a precise, careful, and thorough implementation of such a zero or first-party data capture mechanism will really ensure that you have a robust data model in the backend, and that is something that is available at a very granular input level so that you can leverage it for targeting and personalization. And always thinking about adopting a very holistic consent and preference management strategy around this would be the best way to automate this process. So really with those third-party cookies, what we have been operating on is that third-party data. And now all of us should start thinking about a different strategy that can benefit us directly. One other thing that I have been having a lot of conversations around are these different mechanisms that are in place. So people have been thinking about things like cohorts, or even other different types of IDs like UID2 or other solutions. They're definitely something that you can work towards if you are not in a position of entertaining or considering the collection of zero first-party data for your organization. But we have certainly seen a great shift towards that across organizations, across industries globally. And you want to think about what would work best for your organizations. But there are plenty of resources and solutions out there. So do not worry with, oh my God, cookies is going away. Sorry, third-party cookies is going away. And what am I supposed to do? And how do I maintain that revenue stream? There are solutions. Now, it always helps to reflect, to understand what's happened, to decide or kind of work through what is potentially going to happen. So I really like to bring up the conversation of how did we even get here? So it started out back in 2017 when Safari came up with ITP 1.0. It was their first implementation in iOS 11 or Mac OS, really limiting the use of third-party cookies. So it's been in the works for a while where the organizations were taking privacy to a different level, giving privacy that value from a technical standpoint, have been thinking about it. So with 2018 came along their second version where they went ahead and created the fact that targeting cookies are segmented out exclusively and blocked in Safari browsers. And then many more amendments and changes came along with Safari. We then also saw Firefox join that experience with their updates in 2019, where they defaulted to blocking of the third-party cookies. And Chrome, which was probably the biggest shareholder in terms of browser users, has also gone ahead and defined that they are not only going to tell you what these third-party cookies are, but they also announced that they're phasing third-party cookies out all the way. So you're expecting that by 2023, it would come into force. So what are some solutions that we as an organization could work on? Now, one thing we do want to remember is that the death of these third-party cookies does not translate to you are no longer collecting data or you are not sharing information with third parties. Those are two separate concepts. Third-party cookies going away is essentially just saying this is one way that you used to collect and share information, and it's no longer being entertained by these technology providers. But there are other mechanisms that we are still going to be following. And thus, what you want to be focusing on that if I want to comply with regulations, if I want to build a trusted relationship with my end users, I need to be focused on ensuring that they can see the right data transparency and notices and the right instances, and they can give me the consent that I require to operate on those data points. So cookie banners are still essential to provide that notice and disclosure to your data subject or end user, and provide them the opportunity to really go ahead and understand what's the value of providing. And based on the regulatory consent model requirements, they could either opt in affirmatively or they could opt out. So definitely make sure that you are not completely getting rid of this concept or thinking that it's a very direct relationship. The cookie banners have more scope than just third-party cookies. Another thing I like to have a conversation around is this research from Marketing Dive. The research results essentially said that 88% of marketers did say that first-party data was their priority in 2021. And with that in mind, 52% of those respondents also said that their organization was prioritizing the digital experiences or strategies with the goal of collecting more first-party data. So overall, the collection and storing of this first-party data over the next 6 to 12 months was a high 58%, or even at the highest priority of about 30% amongst a lot of marketers. So I know that while first-party data is at the top of the agenda has been on the top of the agenda in 2021, the report did also point out a few things in terms of need for marketers to increase the acquisition of such zero-party data points, which is intentionally and proactively shared by consumers with their company. And then you can always bend into things like second-party data, which is shared by your partner organizations. Now, it was a priority in all of 2021, and we do envision that this number is going to continue to grow throughout this year of 2022 with the approaching deadlines of Google's phase out for third-party cookies. So as the priority keeps creeping up for all of us, and it keeps becoming even more important over time, it's important for us to understand how we can go ahead and do it in a good manner, a way that's effective, a way that's compliant, a way that helps us maintain or improve our revenue streams. And so a few things that you can think about as part of this whole experience would be that when we're thinking about capturing zero-party data, it could be via things like a web form or a notification that prompts the user that you've reviewed all this content on our page, you've viewed like 3 articles, seems like you're interested. How about we let you know when something relevant comes along and we can send it to you in your mailbox, or we can send it to you via notification in the application. So there are many ways to go around that experience and give them a great way to sign up or give you that information, which is zero first-party data, and you can build that data in the back end. Now, what you also want to think about is all of these processes have to happen in a very compliant fashion. So the right notice and disclosure has to be part of this collection mechanism. You want to make sure that the processes tied in the back end, the integrations, the centralization is also thought through in a privacy by design and a privacy by default fashion. And the best thing that you can do is really synchronize your entire ecosystem to manage these consents so that when a user makes one choice update in a central portal that they're looking at, your systems are well informed automatically instead of you waiting around to send them an email from a third system that maybe that information was not communicated over to. So you'll see a lot of organizations taking a shift towards building a progressive profile in a very centralized manner. So no matter the touch point where this end user comes along, gives us the consent, signs up with us, shares a data point, what we want to do is have this progressive view of this user in a central location where we can understand who is this individual, what are the data points we're operating on, what are the consents and choices they've made with us. And the main motivation should not only be for that central view, but also to remove the issues of duplication, right? So there should be no more deduplication issues that we want to work with. There should be no more broken journeys just because systems are not in sync. And how you can achieve a lot of this is via activating and accessing the data that has been centrally collected within a platform. So when we think about solutioning these experiences is we have all these multi-channels of interaction. We port everything into a central repository, and that repository has the capability to ensure that every system that different teams, that different business units might be operating on that should know about this consent is being informed by the central system or by us in such a manner that is being honored ASAP as soon as possible. And it is being acted upon in a very regulatory compliant fashion. And this also helps build a very holistic custom users experience and ensure that they feel respected, they feel understood, and they feel that being that a loyal end user with your organization is gathering them benefits as well. So with that, a quick note about OneTrust and how we help in this experience is that OneTrust definitely is the fastest growing organization out there. We have over 200 different patents in place for our solutions. a lot of funding in place to ensure that we can help you as an organization scale and grow. A lot of customers across size, scale, and locations. So well supported from all regulatory frameworks perspective across global locations. And also a lot of product and R&D team has been built out to ensure a lot of UI capabilities are provided to you to make subtle changes with any on-off amendments that come along or any user journeys that you want to improve on. Last piece is if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm again Arshdeep Sood. And if you have any other interest in having a conversation, you can always sign up for our LinkedIn group or our newsletter. And that's it for me today. Have a wonderful session here at the conference, and I look forward to speaking with all of you again. Bye-bye and take care.